don't realize what wasn't trying to get across to my son that all of these foods are going to kill you, although some of them I try to really, have them stay away from. The colored juices in particular are really one that we don't want to eat. But it's really important, the choices that we make at the grocery store. And what I found now is that when you go into your store, beyond the produce section of a regular grocery store, there really isn't too much nutrition left that I have been able to find. You can get a bag of corn chips, but when you do that, you want to look for something that is just corn and salt. And if there's some kind of oil in it, that it's a natural oil like canola oil or olive oil. So look for the wholesome ingredients and replace it with something that they like. I actually had a mother call me a couple weeks ago, and she said, "Barb, I was at school this week, and I was giving out birthday treats to their class, and I handed Nathan a cupcake, and he said, 'No, thank you, I don't eat sweets.'" She said, "I have to call you and ask you, how do you have a 7-year-old that will say something like that?" And I felt like all of my hard work has been paying off finally. So what I told her that I do is when Nathan gets something, and this is something that's very important if you want to be successful in keeping your kids from eating sugar when you're not there to regulate, because you don't want to be so fanatical that they think once they get away from you, they're putting every single M&M in their mouth that they can find. What you want to do, and this is what I tell Nathan, when he's offered something at school or when I'm not there, if he brings it home with him or if he tells me what it is, I will give him twice of the amount of something that he likes better at home, whether it's a Pop-Tart or whether it's some animal grams or cinnamon grams. All of these are really great substitutes for sweets that he gets at school. So if he brings it home to me and gives it to me, because they're always doing things like guessing jar and pixie sticks and caramels and Tootsie Rolls and all kinds of things get put in there that they give the kids, and so he will do a trade, and as long as he knows that he's going to get something else in return for it in exchange, he doesn't feel like he's missing out on something. And there are those occasions when we're at a party or something like that, a little bit of sugar once in a while, or an ingredient maybe that you might consider as a parent inferior is not going to kill somebody. You cannot be fanatical. If you're someplace and they need to have half a glass of 7-Up or something, although we don't drink pop at home, I don't advocate drinking pop, and we'll be talking about that on our healthy drink show. If something comes up like that, I don't ever want him to think like there aren't choices and that he doesn't have something that he can do that's that's the same as everybody else. So we still occasionally drink those things when we're out, and I'm hoping that as he grows up that it will be very balanced and he will learn a healthful way of living. I'm going to go ahead and show you today our peanut butter and jelly cookies. We'll be making those. It was really difficult to get started with finding a healthy cookie that I could get Nathan to eat, but I think I finally come up with one. The ingredients aren't too long, so I think that it will be something that you can mix up without too much trouble. They are 1 cup pure maple syrup, 1 teaspoon pure vanilla, 3/4 teaspoon salt, 3/4 cup peanut butter, 1/4 cup water, 1 1/4 cup quick oats blended into flour, 2 cups whole wheat pastry flour, blackberry jam, blackberry all fruit jam. So what we're going to do is just get these out of the way, and we're going to I didn't show you our Jell-O before. There's also a Jell-O that you can use that you don't mix it up exactly the same. You don't put ice cubes in it. If you do, you'll ruin it. You've got to read the directions. But it firms up and it makes a really nice Jell-O, and they come in different flavors that you can give to your kids. It's really a great alternative to regular Jell-O. So we're going to mix up our peanut butter and jelly cookies. Just going to use this. The first thing we're going to do is turn our oats into oat flour. And if you have some quick oats, all you need to do is take them and put them into the blender, and that will mix them right into oat flour. We'll just put this in. This recipe's really great. I find that not just the kids like this one, when they're around and there's a bunch of adults, they disappear just as fast. So we're just going to turn this right into oat flour. And in our other bowl, we're going to just put our other ingredients in. So our whole wheat pastry flour, whenever you mix up a cookie dough or a cake mix, you want to use whole wheat pastry flour. It's lighter. It will make your pastries and whatever you're making of a much nicer texture. We're going to put our salt, our vanilla. We have some water. It doesn't matter what order you put these ingredients in. We have our pure maple syrup. You don't want to use the Aunt Jemima's. You want to use the pure maple syrup. I get mine at Sam's Club because it's cheaper there, and it's about the only place I can afford to buy it. If you have one nearby, check that out for a place. We're going to put our peanut butter in. And I think our oat flour is about ready. These cookies are great. They freeze very well, so you can make them up ahead of time and just put them right into your freezer. When you do make them, you're going to want them to set up a little bit before you freeze them because of the jelly needs to set up, which takes about 24 hours. Okay, we're just going to see if I can get my beaters in today. I've been having trouble with those lately. I did find that when I made healthy cookies the first time, it wasn't this recipe, but I was having a lot of difficulty getting my son to like anything. I thought, here I am working so hard at trying to get him to eat something good, and everything I make he turns his nose up at. So I decided, I took a little, in desperation, I went one more step to get him off of sugar. And I removed every bit of sugar from his diet for 1 week. I didn't let him eat in between meals, which he was doing on a regular basis, which was very, very difficult for him. When he really wanted something and was used to eating it, I would give him a glass of fruit juice instead, which seemed to take away that craving for the food, or at least it would content him a little bit. It was difficult. I would be lying to say that it was easy. It was probably the hardest week of my life so far. At least it seemed like it at the time. I was very close to giving in and giving him what he wanted because he would ask for it continually. When they're used to getting sugar, it's like an addiction of anything else. At least it was with him. So for 1 week, I went without giving him any sugar of any kind other than a natural fruit. You know, I'd cut up an apple or give him fruit juice. And after 1 week, on the 7th day, he quit asking me for candy. And it's so wonderful to not be hounded by your children for something. And anyone who's been a parent who, has had them there begging, Mommy, please, 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 you understand exactly what I'm talking about. So on the 7th day, Nathan quit asking for candy, and I was just absolutely in heaven. And what I did was, after that time, the next time I made up a recipe, I gave it to him, and then